Hello students, today we are going to discuss the integrated management practices regarding the pests and diseases in greenhouse. So let's see. This is the content. So first we are going to deal the integrated pest management, that is IPM, then your integrated disease management. Okay. So today we are going to discuss integrated pest management, and in the next class we are going to discuss the integrated disease management. Okay, so what is this integrated pest management? So integrated pest management is nothing but it is a disease, means integrated means it is the collective approach of different methods and technique. For example, your cultural method, physical, chemical, mechanical and biological method to control the pest management in a way that it will be economical, sound and safe. This point is important. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the integrated pest management. So it is a sustainable approach to managing pest by combining biological, cultural, physical, chemical, then biological already mentioned, then chemical, then cultural, physical, chemical and mechanical also. Okay, so you can put here mechanical. So these 5 approaches you are going to use it, and you are going to manage the pest in a sustainable manner in a way that it will minimizes economic, health and environmental risk. This is the definition given by USDA Agriculture Research Service. So you have to write as such. Okay, so you have to remember this. So next, the principles of integrated pest management. First is we have to regularly monitor the area where, means our field, we have to monitor it regularly. Okay, so that without occurrence of the pest we can control it at its initial stage itself. Identification of pests and their stages of life. Their stages is very important. So at earlier stage it's very easy to handle it. Record of pest management practices. What are the different management practices we are adopting inside the greenhouse? We have to maintain a record. Then exclusion techniques. Then so one by one we are going to discuss briefly in upcoming slides also. Then exclusion techniques we have to use. Then good sanitation we have to provide here. Then soil or plant testing for nutrients we have to done. Then selective pesticide which will be environmental friendly, okay, and which will not give much more hazards. We have to choose those selective pesticides. Then biological control measures at proper time. So these are some of the principles. Next, coming to the greenhouse factors which used to affect the pest development. Okay, so not only the pest, this will be same for the disease also. For example, first, system of heating, which type of heating we are using inside, whether it is going to affect the crop or not. Okay, then architecture and covering material of greenhouse. So architecture means in which direction we are, or the orientation of the greenhouse, then with which the covering material, whether we are using that net house or polyethylene sheets and all. Okay, then system of irrigation and ventilation. So through irrigation means if we are not having a control over the irrigation water, we have to maintain good quality irrigation water inside the greenhouse. Otherwise what will happen, there are some waterborne insect pest diseases may occur, isn't it? And ventilation, how does it play an important role? So through the ventilation also small insects or pests may enter. Okay, so growth medium, it should be properly sterilized before using it. Then general crop management means we have to properly maintain the intercultural practices, so to avoid the hibernation of the this insect pest. Okay, then focus on safer use of pesticides. Then reasons and causes for pest incidents inside the greenhouse. First is the type of the crop. Some crops are very much susceptible to insect and pest disease. For example, let's see, tomato, white fly are used to be mostly commonly affected, isn't it? So first is the type of crop. Second is closer spacing. If you are providing closer spacing, then there is a high chance of getting spread to the next crop. Okay, then vegetable crop more damage. In this particularly vegetable crop used to be morely affected. Okay, next, continuous cropping. Continuous cropping without a fallow crop or free interval means we should not continuously keep on growing the crops inside the pot, means greenhouse. After the completion, for example, you can see if you are going tomato, it will go for 8 to 9 months. Okay, so after the completion of that cycle, if again we are going to raise another crop, then those insect or pests which are going to hibernate or which are going to hide in the soil, they will come up and they will again start with the next crop. After the completion of one crop, at least again we have to do the soil solarization. At least we have to keep some free interval, so that the pupation which has the larva or the pupate which has been done inside the soil, they will be destroyed completely. Okay, then overuse of pesticides leads to problems of resistance. Checking natural enemies and biocontrol agents is the good thing. Means here you have termed this biological insects or economical insects, means which are means helpful to us, which will help in controlling the pest. Okay, so biologically important insects we can use here. Biologically important. Then greenhouse operations are free of pests initially and get infested in due time of operations. Next, most of the common major damages are done by whiteflies, aphids, thrips and mites, and minor damages by snails and slugs. Also you can sometimes see if it's become so much damp inside the greenhouse, then we can see these snails and slugs. Okay, so in India about 20 insect and mite species have been recorded to be associated with the crops under protected environment. So this in table I have given what are the groups and what are the insects and mites, in which type of crop it used to affect, and what are the distribution, in which places they are mostly affected. So go through this table. Okay, next, the consideration for pest management in greenhouse. So what are the consideration? First, design of greenhouse structure. So it should be such a way that it will minimizes least wetness and humidity at the plant canopy level. So we all know that for most of the fungal attack, if there will be more moisture level, then there will be more fungal diseases will be there. Similarly for the pest also, if the particular place will remain damp, the wetness will be continue, the humidity level is more, then there is more probability of getting affected by insect pests. Okay, then so first we should try to keep away the insect pests by using of resistant varieties also. Then pest free planting materials or seedlings should be utilized. Optimum fertilizers we have to do. Timely monitoring, so that it will be, if the insect pest will occur, then we have to take care at earlier as possible. Then sanitation practices we have to do. Then proper harvesting and shipping or transport. If we delay the harvesting, again the same thing, it will being a very means desirable place for the insect pest. Okay, next, insect management strategies. First is your genetical, physical, cultural, exclusion, sanitation, squatting, biological method and chemical method. Lastly we are going to use this chemical method. Okay, so one by one we are going to discuss. First is your genetical control. Genetical control means the variety of that crop, particular crop which we are going to use, it should be either resistant or tolerant. Okay, so here you can see selection and growing of resistant varieties. First thing, safer to environment and also economic. Examples are mite tolerant. You can use some tolerant variety also, like in tomato, capsicum, parthenocopic cucumber it's giving. But the thing is that difficulty in here is sometimes they may not be high yielding. Okay, so our strategy is we have to develop cultivars with little or no reduction in their normal yield. Next, physical method. Then citation of greenhouse. The field crops close proximity to green means Nearby the greenhouse there should not be any field crops. Means nearby the greenhouse there shouldn't be any field crops nearby. What will happen? Otherwise, what will happen? They will get a host plant. There is more chances of getting transfer those insect from those field crops to this greenhouse crops. So intensify pace during field operation or when the outdoor crop is harvested or senescence. The insects will forced to find a new host, then they are going to find it inside the greenhouse. Okay, so that's why it's suggested nearby the greenhouse we should not plant anything. So locate the greenhouse away from or upwind of outdoor crops. Next, cultural practices, crop barriers and trap crops we have to use. This will help to attract the pests away from main crop, both in greenhouse and open field. Open field, though we are using this technique, same technique we can use in the greenhouse as well. Correct and wider spacing we have to provide so that prevent the microclimate conducive for pests and helps in monitoring and control. Pinching and pruning, lower leaf pruning, control leaf minors. Cover the medium with plastic mulch and soilless cultivation. Soilless cultivation affect pests by incomplete life cycle. So it can prevent pupae from falling in leaf minors and thrips. So repair means if your greenhouse is too old and some damages has occurred in its cladding material, then immediately we have to repair those one. Otherwise, it will become a way to for transferring of this insect and pests. Next, tillage, deep summer plowing, mitigate inhibiting stages. Pupae of fly, red pumpkin beetle and cutworms can be mitigate from here. Then intercropping we can use. Then allelochemicals by certain crops. It will enhance the activity of predators and parasite. Okay. For example, in cabbage we can grow it with tomatoes so as to prevent this diamondback moth. Fertilization schedule based on balanced use of nutrients should be followed. Nitrogen should be applied only as needed for optimal growth. Fourth method is your exclusion, means first line of defense. It is your regarded as your first line of defense because here we are going to use insect proof screening. Here very fine maze blocks insects, smallest insects insect proof we can use. Okay. Next, airlock entry, reduce airflow, balance between airflow and insect entry maintain. Next, double door, you can, so generally you have seen while entering any greenhouse we used to have two doors, so that is known as double door. So its main purpose is to control the pace from entering through the doors as workers enter and exit the structure. So UV stabilized plastic should be used. It will help the insects landing and feeding behavior like whiteflies, aphids, thrips. Next is your squatting. Squatting is the monitoring or squatting is the regular systematic inspection of plants and exteriors to identify and assess pest problems. So it includes inspection of the foliage and flowers inside the greenhouse and the use of insect traps you can use here.